悲しいほど光り出した白い闇切り裂く翼になれ
If you thought this was what our next kanji was going to look like, you fell for it! Oh, no, it stops getting easy from here. 1 might be 1 line, 2 might be 2 lines, and 3 might be 3 lines, but 4 is not just 4 lines. So let's start over again, shall we, and get on with the real lesson.
悲しいほど光り出した白い闇切り裂く翼になれ
This is what 4 actually looks like in Japanese. So, how would you draw this? Well, you start with drawing a square. And in Japanese, drawing a square is always done in the same way. You draw the line on the far left down, and then, with 1 stroke, you go across to your right from the tip of the line that you just drew on your left, and then you go down to make the other side of the square in the top. And then on the bottom, you make that last line to close it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, you will usually see that there are ends, little tips there, that it's not completely, a perfect square, that there are still those little ends on the sides that you made. That's normal, because normal human beings can't draw a perfect square. The Japanese language realizes this, and therefore you just make that as best you can. Usually you're going to have little bits at the end. That is perfectly normal. In fact, it's standard. Now, if you are unlike most human beings and you draw perfect squares on a regular basis, that's fine. It is no different. So this is a little easier in that sense. Sometimes something like that would make a big difference. The difference between a perfect square and an imperfect square, which is normal like this, there is none. It does not exist. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And for that last bit in the middle, you're basically going to just make a katakana de going from the top. And you're just going to make the lines like that. It's basically just de coming from the upper portion of this box that you've created. And this is your 4. So as I said previously, this kanji connotes the concept of 4. Its major readings are shi, yon, yo, yotsu, and yotsutsu. Okay? When it's all by itself, this kanji is used to mean 4. You can use 2 ways to count 4. Unlike 3, where there were 2 ways and one of them was very irregular, that no one really uses at all, the 2 forms of counting for 4 are both very common. It's either shi or yon. Now keep in mind that when you're counting, you can say ichi ni san shi or ichi ni san yon, and people will know exactly what you're talking about. However, while neither is preferred, even though I tend to use shi myself, most people do, there are rules later on when we start getting to the bigger numbers where you'll have to say 4 in a specific way. So like 14, 40, 44, there will be a specific, you either use shi or you use yon, and it's pretty clean cut. Usually you have to use just one way. So that's basically all you need to know, along with, here's the ambiguous counter, yotsu, with a pause. That's a small tsu next to the yo. That is all you need to know about 4. Get ready for 5 coming up sooner now that the PokéRAPs are done. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's perfectly fine. The reason this thing is, 3-4 months after the publication of 3 is not because I spent such a long time on it. I have been doing another project that took a lot of time, If you don't care about Pokemon, that doesn't bother me. The fact of the matter is, I've been working on something called a PokéRAP, and I've been doing it in both English and Japanese. If you are trying to perfect your katakana skills, the Japanese PokéRAP might be long, but it's very good practice. I have the lyrics in Romaji on the side. That's our text, our alphabet. If you want that as a guide, that's perfect. So that would give you a good chance to see some katakana and some katakana pairings that I never actually got to because they're not very common. Nothing to really worry about. So that's why this is so late. But other than that, that's all there is for 4. 5 should be coming soon. This is Angel of Crepusculence signing off.